Right, so just going to do a little tutorial on how to draw this shape for your lesson today. So last week, if you're here, we looked at doing the square and the L shape. Hopefully most of you will be able to take that forward and draw the shape. If you haven't, this is a little tutorial to kind of help you out when you come to do it. So again, when I'm drawing this, I'm going to use a straight edge because I've already got all the, well, I will have all the measurements on here, and I'm using my gridded paper. Obviously, if you were doing this on plain paper, make sure you're using a ruler to make sure that it's straight, square and the right size. So on this one, to make it easier, I'm just going to do each of these little blocks as 1 by 1, just so it's a bit easier when I'm doing my grid. So that's going to be 1 high, that's going to be 1 high, that's going to be 1 high. The thickness is the same throughout it, and then the length at the top is going to be 2, so 2, 3, 4, so that means that bottom bit would be 4 in total, and going up would be 1, 2, 3, going to be 3 in total. So I've got those measurements in there. Again, you can copy those if you want to help you out. So my front view, as we started before, is going to go somewhere in this bottom corner. So I'm going to start off by drawing that. I find the easiest way to draw the front view is, or choose which one of my front view is going to be, if I didn't have these already marked on, is choose the view that's got the most detail on. From that, it makes it a bit easier when you're drawing the side view and the plan view at the top. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to start in this bottom corner. So I'm going to put this bottom corner, it's going to be down here. So I'm going to start from there, and I am going to draw it going 3 up. So 1, 2, 3, line coming down. I've said it's going to be 4 across the bottom from my grid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, as I said, to make it easy myself, each one of those step ups, so this view there, is going to be 1. So 1 up and across 1. 1 up again and across. Last step. A little bit. And then that should mean that I've got 2 at the top if I measure it out right, which is correct. So I'm going to draw across, a little bit over on that corner, just rub that little bit out, and I've got that plan view shape. Now, so this next bit is where you then use construction lines. Remember, when using the construction lines, they want to be fainter than these lines on here, so I'm going to press a bit more lightly on it. And when you do your construction lines, they don't want to touch the actual shape. So they're coming off from the corners, but not actually connecting to the shapes. So to start off with, from any corners I can see going up, I'm going to use that as my example again. And I'm going to draw some faint construction lines. So you can just about see it on the page there. So again, not quite touching that corner. Faint construction line going up, and then I can see these corners as well. So again, faint construction lines just going up, not quite touching the corner. So there, my construction line going up. So that means I can do the plan view now. So in the plan view, that's the view. If I was looking down on top, it's kind of this face here, that face, and that face. There's kind of going to be 3 squares that I'm going to see. One that's 2 across, which will fit into this section here, and then 2 ones that are 1 across each, which is going to be these 2. So because I've drawn construction lines going up, makes it really easy. So I'm going to give a little space between my front view, and then I'm going to draw that line going across. So I'm going to go across, again pressing on a bit harder now, all those lines from the width, because my guidelines, my construction lines show me how wide it's going to be. And then I know from the thickness down here that's showing, it's going to be 1 thick. And because that shape is kind of flat, it's straight, it's the same thickness all the way across, it means that I know I'm going to go 1 up, and then all the way across again. And adding the details in there now, these faint lines that are inside my drawing, so there and there, I'm going to go over again so they're nice and thick, I can see them. and that is then my plan view. So I've got that section that's got two squares there from the top, that section has got one square there, and that section has got one square then at the end there as well. I'm going to also, again, just use my rubber just to remove the construction lines that are touching that shape. So not quite touching the corners, and I'm going to go on to the next bit. So my next bit is drawing that 45 degree line coming out diagonally from basically that bottom corner of my shape coming out across. So from here, sorry, coming out from the top corner of my shape, sorry, rather than the bottom corner. So if I'm imagining that's kind of filled in as a block, that would be the top corner of where my shape is. So from that corner, I'm going to go across 45 degrees. So it's kind of the only time on these drawings anyway, we are going to go diagonal. So I'm looking for that grid going across. And again, be nice and light. I'm not going to quite touch my drawing. Going down nice and light. I've got that 45 degree line. So as I did for my first shape, I need to draw the construction lines coming out this way as well. So coming across my side view from each of these corners or the edges, coming across. So I'm going to go on there, construction lines nice and light, leaving a bit of space between my drawing and the construction line from that corner, from that corner, from this corner, and finally one above it, the top corner. So I've got all construction lines going across, and now what I need to do to find where it is on here, so where this front view is, I need to draw my line going across and down like we did for the cube. So as we extend this line across, it'll hit this 45 degree line, we'll go straight down, and then eventually, once we've drawn, in this case, the two lines coming across, it will mark out our final view here, so our side view. So again, just put my straight edge in here. Again, if we needed to measure out and weren't using good paper, remember you need to make sure you're using a ruler. So again on there, leaving a little bit of a gap like the edge, so my guideline's going across there. Where they hit that line, going down 90 degrees, so nice and light for my construction lines. And this section here now, where all these lines, what we call intersect, so where they cross each other, I'm going to darken it, and that will give my last view. So what I'm hoping is, when I darken them all off, I've got 3 squares that are all exactly the same size. They're all going to be 1 by 1, 1 by 1, 1 by 1. So first thing is in that top corner, draw down, same with that line, draw down to the last little bit, and then across. One line there, one line there, a line there, and a line here at the top. So again, that then gives me my shape, so I've got all my views there. So I've got my front view, my plan view, and the side view. I'm going to quickly go around and just remove the lines that are not touching on any of the sides of my main drawing. And the last thing to do is just to label it up. So I've got my front view, I've got my plan view at the top, and I've got my side view here at the side for that one. So again, that is just a quick tutorial how to draw this shape. Hopefully you've attempted it yourself first and got this done. Again, have a look at these as little guidelines and have a look at the PowerPoint, the different stages on it to help you out first. But there is the diagram for that one. If you're struggling, again you can follow that and then have a go at the next shape, where we're going to, the next shape is a little bit different, it's got a bit of a curve on it. So we're going to show you how to do that.